Fellas, we gotta talk. A lot of men seem to think that Donald Trump is some kind of tough guy. He's not. I mean, look at him. He wears more makeup than Dolly Parton. He whines like a baby. The guy's afraid of birds.
The man is terrified of birds. Don't tiptoe into a roast, Dave Bautista. Like a wrecking ball, he stomps right in. Wearing combat boots, aiming at Trump with the dexterity of someone who understands how to shatter bones and egos. Trump portrays himself as a titan, but Bautista exposes that delusion and portrays him as the weakest leader in history. The sound of late-night comedians makes Trump, a man who boasts about being tough, lose his ego more quickly than Bautista could throw a chair over his back in the ring.
Throwing his hat in the ring a little bit too.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? You think it's
I don't think you. I mean, I don't know for sure. I haven't spoken to him about this. I haven't heard him talk politics or presidential race. But I've heard it mentioned to me a couple times as kind of a joke. I thought it was a joke anyway. But he'd make a much better president than Donald Trump. But I've said that before.
He mocks the fixation with branding and reminds everyone that Trump's empire was more of a spray-addled sand castle that washed away by the wave of bankruptcies than a golden palace. Though it may appear lofty, Bautista describes Trump Tower as a big middle finger of steel and glass that is a monument to overcompensation and an attempt to divert attention from a hollow court. The alleged steel tycoon is actually a tobacco salesman.
Donald Trump had his daddy pay a doctor to say his little feet hurt so he could dodge the draft. Look at that gut, like a garbage bag full of buttermilk. He sells imaginary baseball cards pretending to be a cowboy fireman. Guy's barely strong enough to hold an umbrella. I mean, look.
By likening Trump's talks to a broken GPS, which often veers off course, makes several incorrect turns, and is prone to yelling and recalculating once the audience sees he has missed his point, Bautista makes people laugh. He makes fun of the endless, meandering monologues in which inconsistency is the only constant. According to Bautista, a rally is now a marathon of gibberish with the endurance of a rerun soap drama rather than a political gathering.
And I also think that Dwayne is very patriotic. He loves his country. He do what's best for his country. Again, I don't think Trump is a patriot by any means. I think once Trump is out of office, I think things are going to tighten up, and the NRA won't have so much, say in what we do.
Please click the bell symbol and subscribe to the channel if you like this video. The infamous insecurity of Trump is the subject of the roast. By reminding everyone that the man's value was determined by the number of folding chairs facing his platform rather than by policy, Bautista brutalizes the fixation with crowd sizes. The ridiculousness of a supposed millionaire complaining about attendance, like a failing Vegas lounge act, makes Bautista laugh. The only figures that Trump constantly drew were lawsuits, indictments, and jokes.
Like a little pink chickadee. He's got jugs, big ones, like Dolly Parton. He cheats at golf. He creeps around beauty pageant dressing rooms. You know that little dance he does? He looks like he's jacking off a pair of giraffes. He's moody, he pouts.
Next is vanity, which is a constant source of humor. Trump's skin is compared to a rejected Halloween pumpkin that has been left out in the sun for too long by Bautista, who shows no mercy for the orange glow. Naturally, the hair is subjected to its own fire, a structural catastrophe that might collapse in the event of a strong wind. According to Bautista, it ought to have its own Secret Service detail, not to shield it from adversaries, but rather to spare America from having to observe it.
He said that, Trump, no fucking way is he ever going to be president of the United States.
Right.
So now, who knows?
Do you think he's a two-term president?
No.
No.
God, I hope not. If he got voted, if he lasts his full term, I may grab my wife and my dogs and pack up and.
In his candid analysis of Trump's connection, Bautista likens him to a Long after the rabbit has passed away, the magician continues to conjure falsehoods. He maintains that it is true even though each assertion is more ludicrous than the one before it. Trump is deceiving himself, not anyone else, in what Bautista refers to as gaslighting as performance art. Like a Jenga tower, his lies pile up and sway as they wait for gravity to act. By exposing Trump's defining timidity, he undermines his assertions of strength. Though he avoids any genuine conflict and prefers Twitter feuds to real challenges, Trump speaks like a warrior. The absurdity of a man posing as a general but escaping accountability more quickly than a rookie makes Bautista giggle. Running wrestler from a steel chair. All of the bluster is bark. The bite doesn't come. The focus turns to Trump's desire for allegiance, which Bautista dismantles as only a figment of his tyranny. He treats allies like throwaway props, demanding devotion in exchange for betrayal. Trump's inner circle is like a cheap hotel spinning doors, according to Bautista. No one stays long enough to matter. People come and go all the time. Trump constructs exits more quickly than entrances for someone who professes to be a team builder.
5-year-old behind the wheel of a truck. He bends over for Putin. He's cattier on social media than a middle school mean girl. The guy needs help walking downhill. Almost there, Grandma. So this November, let's stop kidding ourselves. Donald Trump is afraid of rain, of dogs.
Bautista rips apart Trump's communication approach when he talks about it. With a powerbomb's accuracy, his proof is found in the tweets. They all had digital tantrums, all in uppercase, and lacked the coherence of a 5-year-old who has consumed too much sweets. According to Bautista, these outbursts will be quoted in history textbooks, and students in the future will mistake them for satirical fiction. Trump's rants and keyboard meltdowns, the ramblings of a guy who confused typing out of rage with governing, will always be a part of his legacy. Then, his purported corporate empire is ridiculed. By citing failures such as a record of humiliation, airlines that never operated, stakes that no one purchased, and a university that committed more fraud than it taught, Bautista destroys the illusion of a tycoon. According to Bautista, the Trump brand has come to represent expensive mediocrity. Trump might be the wealthiest person in the planet if lawsuits are the yardstick for success. Trump's odd self-comparisons to historical leaders are the focus of Bautista's critique, which ridicules the idea that he is on par with Washington or Lincoln. According to Bautista, if Trump is remembered at all, it will be in the company of reality TV villains, serving as a warning about ego gone wild. He hosted a 4-year episode of bad television without a season finale rather than serving as the head of state.
Recently, the Rock came out and said, he would consider to run for president in 2020. Did you hear about that?
I did not.
What do you think about the Rock, possibly running?
Yeah, I'd vote for him.
You vote for him?
Yeah.
You think he'd make a good president?
I think he's a better candidate than Trump.
Okay.
I think Trump can win. Anybody can probably win.
Even his alleged hardness is trampled underfoot. Bautista makes a joke about, according to Trump, having guts means enduring a challenging round of golf or skipping tea. The man who professed to be a fighter was incapable of taking criticism without losing his temper. Trump has suffered a mortal wound from late-night rants alone, according to Bautista, if words are weapons. Additionally, his family dynamic turns into ammunition. The absurdity that Trump positions himself as the ideal patriarch, while his kids flutter around his fortune like moths around a flickering light bulb, is brought to light by Bautista. They are merely props in Trump's ego drama, not legacies. Additionally, Bautista clarifies that the performance is more tragic than presidential. Trump's fixation on honors and prizes is even parroted by Bautista, who makes fun of the way he wants trophies for participation like a kid in a spelling bee. Trump is the most desperate politician in recent history because he interprets every cheer as approval and every silence as treachery. According to Bautista, respect is earned by real leaders. Like a performer who is yearning to prolong their career past their prime, Trump implores for it.
Street and being laughed at.
Isn't it past your jail time?
But mostly, he's terrified that real red-blooded American men will find out that he's a weak, tubby toddler.
He makes fun of Trump's diet, saying that he views fast food as excellent food, professing to be in optimal health while filling himself with hamburgers. The only six-pack Trump ever saw, according to Bautista, came from a drive-through window. Lifting a bucket of fried chicken is the best workout for a man who is obsessed with strength. Bautista's ridicule of Trump's tendency to contradict himself in the same sentence further erodes his relationship with the truth. According to Bautista, listening to him talk is like seeing a man quarrel with his own image. Every promise is broken before it is completed. Each proclamation contradicts itself. He's more of a parody of a politician than a real one, a living caricature that was miraculously elected. Then, tearing into Trump's connection with the media, Bautista exposes the contradiction of a man who denounces it as phony, but who wants its attention more than oxygen. Trump attacks reporters on stage only to obsessively watch their coverage because he can't live without the approval he claims to despise. Trump isn't at war with the media, Bautista chuckles. He and it are married in a poisonous union.
Talking about Manny saying, with the scriptures, saying that, basically the scripture that he quoted said, gay people should be stoned to death.
So my opinion.
The roast exposes more of Trump's anxiety by making fun of his propensity to see. Everywhere there are conspiracies. According to Bautista, he is a man who thinks everyone is out to get him, but most people are just laughing. Every critic becomes a traitor, and every shadow becomes an enemy. Additionally, Bautista mocks the ridiculousness of a leader who views late-night comedians as existential dangers. Bautista attacks Trump's fixation with the past once more, pointing out that each rally is a time capsule of grievances, bringing the complaints of the past into the news of the present. The ridiculousness of a man so mired in nostalgia that he forgets the future even exists makes Bautista laugh. For Trump, there is never a plan for tomorrow. It is merely a repeat of yesterday's justifications. Bautista focuses on Trump's fixation with money, tearing down the myth of unending wealth. The self-described billionaire has avoided inquiries about his true net worth for years by providing estimates that are based more on speculation than balance sheets. Trump's greatest investment, according to Bautista, was persuading people that gold-plated mediocrity was luxury rather than real estate or companies. Trump's money is begging for a translator, according to Bautista, if money speaks. Next, his educational story is dissected. Trump claims to be brilliant, yet he conceals his transcripts as if they were classified as national security secrets, according to Bautista. It is blatantly ironic. A man who professes to have unrivaled intelligence, yet finds it difficult to form complete words without straying into gibberish. According to Bautista, the only Trump's actual diploma was obtained by blatant self-promotion with honors and reinterpreting his own setbacks as successes. Bautista then exposes Trump's ongoing imagery invention. The politician, the reality TV personality, and the real estate tycoon. Each character wore a costume to receive acclaim. Trump, according to Bautista, is more of a method actor trapped in a role he doesn't comprehend than a leader. Instead of ruling, he acts, constantly trying to win over an uncontrollable audience. The focus turns to Trump's obsession with being loved. He is portrayed by Bautista as a man whose sense of value fluctuates with each cheer, chant, and poll number. He flourishes on approval, but falters when questioned. A weak performer erupting on stage lights. According to Bautista, character silence, something Trump never possessed, is a better indicator of actual power than the thunderous cheers of the audience.
That Donald Trump has ever done is divided this country. America will only be great if you vote for me. And that's bullshit. It's not making America great. It's making Donald Trump great. Vote for me so I can pardon myself, do anything I want, and get away with it. Just a regular guy. But when I look up the definition of narcissist, this is who people want running our country. Everything he loses is rigged. When he won in 2016, because he lost the popular vote was rigged. What a whiny little bitch. The fact that he was convicted.
Trump's purported patriotism is examined by Bautista, who makes fun of the everlasting flag, hugging pictures that don't seem like sincere pride, but rather desperate embraces. He points out that Trump's views change like sand in the wind, and that love of nation is demonstrated by principles rather than by gimmicks. According to Bautista, there is no need for a mascot for the flag. It requires a defender, and Trump was never one. Trump's reflection was the only long-term companion he ever had, according to Bautista. Even that relationship appears to be tense. Trump's public persona's hypocrisy is exposed. Bautista then highlights how the person who rants against corruption also indulges in it. How advantages let the elite critic establish himself. How the so-called people's champion never lived outside those gilded walls for a day. It's not leadership, responds Bautista. Theater serves as a stage for performances to conceal the shallow reality below. Bautista switches to Trump's constant victimization, making fun of the way every failure turns into a plot and every defeat into a stolen asset.
You want to, teach Manny a lesson?
No, I mean, that's his opinion. That's his opinion, but I'm just saying I don't appreciate it.
You think an apology would ever?
No.
You can't change someone's core?
Yeah, you can't come back from that, man. There's no.
Trump doesn't falter. He says that he is sabotaged. The Bautista makes fun of his constant complaining by portraying him as a man who is averse to truth, accountability, and acknowledging his mistakes. He compares Trump to a retired athlete who continues to show up to the ring long after the audience has dispersed, mocking his incapacity to go on. The roast gets darker as Bautista draws attention to Trump's lack of accountability. He has a strong desire for authority, but shirks the responsibility that comes with it. He runs away from the burden of the spotlight, even if he adores it. According to Bautista, Trump's rule was never about serving others, but rather serving himself, and everyone else paid the price for his vanity. When Bautista finally delivers the knockout, he reminds the crowd that vanity is not immortalized by history. It makes it visible. Trump's story will serve as a warning against excess, conceit, and collapse rather than a tale of triumph. The jokes will never end, but the sculptures he envisioned will never be carved. Instead of portraying him as the imposing character he had in mind, Bautista left him as a punchline that outlasted the performance and a footnote shrouded in mockery. Bautista then takes a step back. The demolition is finished. Trump intended to leave a legacy of power, but instead he created a monument to his own disgrace.